Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
All right, welcome to another edition of Freed on Business. Today's Freed on Weed. We're going to talk to Manny Johnson about the upcoming Florida cannabis license extravaganza. They're letting a bunch of licenses out. How many years has it been since they did this the last time, Manny? 5?
Yes.
About 5 years since they did this, and now they're going to do 15 new ones. We're going to talk about the economics behind them, why you should do them, why Manny's involved, what Manny and his team do. It's going to be an awesome show for people that are interested in cannabis. So we will be right back after this commercial break. Thank you so much. Regan Mendoza, take it away. All right, everybody, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been doing this since 2008. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Warren Henry. They've been with us since 2012, and they are tremendous. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Abe, everybody over there. We love you. Remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up in Gainesville. That's that way from here. They sell Audis down in the Keys. That's that way. They sell them all. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. What's the Warren Henry Advantage? Well, that means you get all kinds of great stuff, like the complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, my favorite, the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your Warren Henry car. Guess what? You will! So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Tell you else who wins, people that call me about real estate, they win all the time. Because when you call me, it's all about you. I've just teamed up with a family office out of New York City. We've got $400 million plus to lend. We're looking to put out $40 to $70 million on ground up construction for apartments, hotels, and resorts. Rates range from 6 to 7.5 to 8%. It's a 2-point origination fee, no exit fee. And the guarantees are negotiable. So call me if you need construction financing for apartments, hotels, or resorts. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back. We're here with my favorite agronomist, my favorite cannabis and hemp and CBD expert. Manny Johnson is back. Manny's the preeminent voice in this category. He's been involved since the very early days. He's been a hemp farmer for many, many years, done a bunch of cannabis licenses, and we're going to talk today about the economics of the new Florida cannabis licenses that are going to be let by the government. Manny, this year? When's all that happening?
Well, it's going to, they're supposed to have the applications available by the end of this month.
Okay, and who can apply?
You need to be the two requirements are you need to have a Florida agricultural certificate, Department of Agriculture certificate, and you also need to have 5 years of consecutive business experience or business operation in the state of Florida.
That's it? Do you have to have that business operation in cannabis business, or it can be like meat packing or box making?
The current legislation only says that it has to be you have to be a business that has been a company that's been in business for 5 consecutive years in Florida.
Wow. Now, I know that they were targeting a little more diversity in this round. Is there a set aside for diversity?
There is one of the licenses will go to a black farmer. Okay. So of the 15 licenses, there's one's going to go to a black farmer. I hate using the term black farmer, and I hate isolating something like that. The licenses, in Florida, there's 3 ways that the 3 top scoring ways are the certified financials of the business, to be seriously good to be competitive. Number 2 is the pro forma, and that is the entire application is composed of 15 parts. They're adding some extra parts, of course, since we've added things since the last application. But they are, what you've got to be able to show is that you can do everything in the license that you said you're going to do. Build out the buildings, create the dispensaries, everything that you talk about doing.
Let's start. I think we've gotten ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about why somebody would want a medical marijuana license in the state of Florida versus another state, Manny. I mean, why here rather than Colorado?
Well, Florida is a very, very unique state in that it allows for unlimited everything. Okay, Florida is the only state in the United States and the world that allows for unlimited cultivation, extraction, processing, dispensing to customers by physical locations, and 24/7 delivery to customers around every part of the state. Unlimited means as much as we desire. And this is called unlimited vertical integration. And
wow.
You have to get individual licenses. You have to get one to cultivate with, one to process with, one to create edibles with, one to be a dispensary, and most of them don't have delivery services. So Florida puts everything into one package, and that's why our licenses are so valuable. And to me, it's the best way to do it because you can control your product from beginning to end.
Manny, how much does it take to apply for medical marijuana license? How much does it take to build out the enterprise? And what's the enterprise value estimated to be after year 1?
Well, the last Florida license, just the piece of paper, was sold from the company or the group that had secured it for $35.5 million.
How much did it cost to get the license, though?
It probably took them around $2 million.
Okay, so they turned $2 million into $35 million. How fast?
I believe they negotiated this for about a year, off and on, and then they had to go through. The state of Florida has to approve this transfer. But if you're just building it out, if you were to get the license, within 30 days, you have to prove cultivation, which means you have to have something up. You've got to have a facility that cultivates. There are ways around that, which everybody uses to prove cultivation. But after you've proved your cultivation, then you start building your facilities.
Okay, so if I'm going to start cultivation within 30 days, I'm educated enough to know one thing. Where am I getting my seeds, and how do I know they're good?
Florida.
Or am I using cuttings? How am I going to do this?
Florida doesn't talk about that because that's one of those. I would tell you that I have never seen anybody who is cultivating, which I know the 8 companies that are cultivating right now, and none of their original plants came from the state of Florida. So they had to cross some state lines, which is federally illegal. But I've never heard of any company ever in any state being penalized for having those plants shipped in.
Okay, but we're in Florida and people are growing. So could I theoretically get cuttings from one of the other verticals right now and start growing on my land in 30 days?
No.
Why?
Because they're not allowed to sell it to you.
So I have to get it from out of state and I have to cross state lines, which puts me in the eye of the federal government?
It does, but like I said, there's 38 states now that have legalized marijuana in some form. And of the 8 states, there hasn't been one of the thousands of licenses they've given out that has had any difficulty in getting the product to start with. You can start it from seeds. I would prefer to start it from cuttings that are rooted.
Okay, well, we're going to come right back. We're going to talk about why Manny would start with rooted cuttings. And we're also going to talk about the profile of the people involved in the marijuana business here in Florida and why it makes sense for you to get involved on the ground floor right now. Regan Rocket. As you all know, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on since 2008. That's, my gosh, it's got to be closing in on 1,000 episodes at this point. I wonder how many it is. Mr. Mendoza, you're going to have to let me know that. Team up with Rebecca. We've got to be coming up on 700 or 750. I want to thank Manny. He's on a lot on our Freed on Weed segments. And I want to thank our sponsors at Warren Henry, who've been with us since 2013. I love them. I can't tell you how many cars I've bought from them. It's tremendous. Me, my mom, my wife, Vivian, we all have cars from there. Lots of my friends, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you check out Warren Henry, Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. They're all great cars. They all come with Warren Henry Advantage. That means you get complimentary dent repair, key replacement, service loaner. Oh, you don't get the dent repair. I'm sorry. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and a 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. You know, up here on 151st and Biscayne, they sell Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis, and down in the Keys, well, they've got all the great nameplates. And let me tell you this. When you're looking to buy a car, you want to join the Warren Henry family, just like my wife, my mother, lots of my friends, and me. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
And give me a call if I can help, because we've got a brand new program I'm doing with a family office in New York. We've got $300-400 million. We're looking alone in $40 to $70 million slugs for the ground up development of apartment, resort, and hotel. Call me immediately. Rates are from mid 6s to 8% maybe for for a hotel and resort. The apartments are a little bit less. Recourse is negotiable. LTC is 75%, a little lower on hotels, but we can do a mezz and take you all the way up the capital stack. So call me if you've got a deal that you're looking to finance. Why do you call me? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back with Manny Johnson. Manny's here with us. We're talking about the economics of having a cannabis license. Here in Florida. And I wanted to talk a little bit about operations, Manny. Let's say we've got the license, we've grown the product, and we're looking to get operations started and build that out. Some of these medical marijuana companies have operations all across the state, 70, 80, 90 outlets. How do you get to that, and how do you trust your team to do it?
Well, I don't know that there's any company in the state of Florida, and I know that there isn't any rules in any of the states that require that anyone that works in a cannabis dispensary have any type of education. That's scary to me, because you've got people going into these places with stage 4 colon cancer, things of that nature, and they're supposed to have a conference room where the patient can sit in and be educated by someone who has some sort of medical scientific knowledge as to what the best product might be. So I'm not, I see a lot of places going up, and I see it all over like I said, I've worked in 15 states, but and I haven't seen in any of those states where you can walk into a dispensary and get any knowledge. They're just selling you what they have in inventory. I want to work on a license where, everyone in the dispensary is under the guidance of at least a nurse practitioner or a healthcare professional, where they can, they do this right. This is, if you're going to say something is medical, you've got to be giving out medical advice, and you've got to be doing the right things. So there's a whole lot of issues. I like the ideas of growing organically, using, no pesticides, no heavy metal fertilizers. I like it grown in the air if it's possible, where you've got air movement naturally instead of in all these artificial conditions. I like processing with PhD level people. That's why, like on the applications that I work on, I have a team of 7 PhDs and 2 MDs, and they're all the top in the world at what they do. That's what, a Florida license takes that, and a Florida application takes that to get a license. And it is, I really think the way Florida is doing this is the right way to do it. Vertical integration is the way to go, because like I said, you can control the very beginning of the plant, every process of it being cultivated, harvested, then it goes into your processing facilities for extractions, and then it goes into your either nutraceuticals that you're designing, your plant medicines, your edibles, or goes into your dispensary. So you're controlling you got chain of custody from every part.
Manny, how does somebody put together the team to go after a medical marijuana license in Florida?
Well, what I just do is get the best people in the world in each subject. Been working with them for 5 years. That's what I do. Other people. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Is your team working right now with a group that's doing a medical marijuana license, or are you seeking to do your own? What is your approach to the current opportunity?
Well, I'm waiting for the application to come out, which should be like they said, by the end of August. I'll take a look at that. I've already got the team assembled. I've got the tax attorneys assembled, the CPAs that need to go over the financials. I've got pretty much everything in place, to do this entire process. To believe it or not, it costs somewhere around $850,000 to $1 million to put this whole process together. because you've got to have these people working almost nonstop for a month, because after the application comes out, you have to deliver it to the Department of Health on a USB thumb drive. And it's very specific how you have to deliver it. Each section has to be broken down. You've got to use a certain font, page spacing. You're allowed to put certain addendums in. You have to have architectural type renderings of your buildings, each dispensary, your cultivation. You have to get permission from the cities and the counties to put a dispensary in. It's a tremendous undertaking.
Now, how do you know that you're complying with all the legal regulations? Is there a lawyer on your team also?
Two that specialize just in marijuana or cannabis, hemp and marijuana.
Now, what is the team typically look like? You've got you've got a lawyer. Who else would you have on this team?
Well, we have our cultivators are PhD level cultivators. Two of them are women. We do things with tissue culture. We do things with biogenetics, where we manipulate the genetics to try to get more of a medical benefit out of certain strains. And so then it goes to a 35-year retired professor emeritus of a major university who oversees the extraction and the processing, and he also does all testing and analysis. So we do testing and analysis of the plant. Like as it's growing, every 2 weeks we will do testing on that. Every product at every stage of the products, as you're extracting it, as you're turning it into a nutraceutical, a plant medicine, an oil, a vaping product, a pill, a capsule, at every stage, we have testing and analysis with our own labs that they're at least as superior to any of the labs in the state of Florida.
Now, there's a lot of companies that grow in Canada. There's a lot of companies that grow all over the country. A lot of them have bought into existing medical marijuana companies in the state of Florida. Why would somebody from out of state care about getting involved in Florida? What gives Florida the edge over other places, or is there an edge at all?
Well, I mean, you're looking at a state that, like I said, unlimited. Unlimited means unlimited. Okay.
Well, how about the ability to produce? The ability to produce down here is much different than it would be in Colorado or Illinois, right?
Yeah, in terms of climate, you're okay. I was confused by the word producing, because that's something the reason I love Florida to work in is because of the climate. It's got incredible climate here compared to try to imagine growing something in Illinois. Okay, where it's just freezing, and how do and Colorado is where it started. I mean, Colorado, you can have on a t-shirt in the morning and you've got snow in the afternoon.
Now, what about Florida in general? Let's kind of divide Florida into 3 different zones. You've got like Lake Apopka up there, where it's like the center of the ornamental plant industry. You've got Homestead down in the south, where they grow all these row crops. And then you've got, places like Okeechobee, where I know friends that have organic farms, 450, 500 acres. What's the difference between the different zones in the state of Florida?
Well, if you look up in North Florida, you're going to have freezing weather again. So you've got to deal with freezing. Okay, so you're going to have to do a lot of, you're going to have a lot of freezing weather, and you're not going to be able to predict when it's going to be. So you've got to have buildings designed for that. And then you kind of get into the Central Florida area, and you're dealing with another greenhouse type situation, but it's not quite as rigorous. And then you get into the Lake Okeechobee type area of Florida. And you're into kind of a belt that's higher than other belts in terms of the elevation in the state. It's just one of those. It's part of nature. The the structure of the state of Florida has certain elevated zones. That area is elevated. The elevation puts you higher, so that means you've got airflow. When you've got airflow, insects they can't fly they can't fly with, against winds.
Okay. Well,
down into South Florida, you're talking with even more humidity, and the high temperatures, the high humidity, mold and mildew is very, very difficult to deal with down there.
Well, what I'd like to do is take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Manny about what the unique specifications of a winning bid should look like and how you can get involved in the current medical marijuana license application process. Regan, take it away. We'll be right back with Manny Johnson's second half, where we talk about how to do all this. All right, everybody, we're here with Manny Johnson today on our Freed on Weed segment, but we're always with our good friends at Warren Henry. Warren, thank you so much. Larry, Eric, everybody up there, we love you all. Samantha, I want to thank them for being our sponsors since 2012. My gosh, that's 9 years. Wow. Thank you so much. Hey, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne and Gainesville. They sell Audi. Down in the Keys, we've got all kinds of great name brands. Why do you want to buy from them? Well, besides being great cars, you get the Warren Henry advantage. What's that? Well, there's a whole bunch of things they give you when you buy the car. First of all, you become a member of the Warren Henry family. I think that's priceless. You get the complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the 72-hour exchange. Can take 3 full days to determine whether you like your car. You will. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Hey, and give me a call. I can help you get financed. We've got a brand new program with my family office out of New York. We're doing ground up construction for apartments, hotels, and resorts. Give me a call. I've got great capital for deals between $40 and $70 million. We're pricing over LIBOR. We're very competitive. The recourse is negotiable, and the loan to cost, well, that's 70% at the start, and we can get a mezz all the way up to the top for you. So give me a call. Or direct message me. Why? Because when you reach out to me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Hey, everybody, we're here with Manny Johnson. Manny and I are talking about everything you need to know about the medical marijuana licenses that are coming up. Now, Manny, let's start again. When are they going to be putting these licenses out for bid? When do people have to be ready to make a bid?
Well, they don't make a bid. They have to fill out the application, and the state of Florida will score it. And the highest scoring, licenses are the highest scoring applications, the ones that they will submit licenses to.
How many times has your team people on your team applied for licenses, and how successful have they been?
With our team and the subject matter experts that we have added to it, we've had 6 different licenses, and there's only 13 right now. Okay, so about half of them you've been involved with then. Correct.
And the last one cost somebody about $1 million to put together, and they held on to it for about a year. And how much did they sell it for?
They sold it for right around $35 million.
And they need state approval to do that.
That was no assets, no land, nothing.
And you said the state of Florida.
And, I know we're talking about business, okay? But I don't want us to forget about the medical values of this plant. I mean, it's incredible. Our group has had 20 people just about 2 Thursdays ago. We finished a 5-year plan where we had supplied 20 people with suppositories that had stage 4 cancer, colon cancer, prostate, breast. And those people were told to go home and basically just start packing up getting their affairs in order. And that was 5 years ago. Okay. And now they're gardening. We have an 83-year-old gentleman who's was one of my partner's grandfathers, and that's how we got started in that. But there's some tremendous medical values here, and I never want us to forget that part. I think Florida will go from medical to adult use sometime next year. I think it's the people want it. 67% of the people in the state of Florida want that. The politicians are turning in that direction. When that happens in every state that it's happened in, if you take the states and average it, the average sales have increased 5-fold the following year from medical to medical and recreational. So
Now,
there's a tremendous increase. And Florida's got a tremendous population, and there's more people moving in every day.
now, Manny,
Yeah.
let's say that somebody was awarded the license, that they wanted to transfer the license to make the profit. How does the state pick whether or not you'll be able to transfer the license?
Well, they're going to judge that the people that it's being transferred to. They're going to highly scrutinize them. The application is not, it isn't for the faint of heart. I can certainly tell you that. You have to answer every question on the application, and
What are some of the questions?
Pardon?
What are some of the questions?
I don't know what's going to be on this application. I just know what was on the last ones, and the last ones were like for cultivation, something like years of knowledge and experience in growing in high humidity environments, for example. Okay, there's a lot of hidden words in there. Okay, it's knowledge and experience. How many years? Okay, if you put a team together like the teams that I use, we'll have close to 200 years worth of experience in growing in high humidity environments. I've had 32 years myself.
Just a regular person trying to fill it out. Well, I got 0, versus the guy with 200. You just want a couple.
That's my point. You have to have an application that has solid people, and you have to have a solid plan in every section.
And how does somebody start filing? Do they just is there a website? Where do they get all the filing stuff?
There is a website, the Office of Medical Marijuana Use will have the applications on that in the state of Florida, and that's a division of the Department of Health. So that's where the applications, and you download it, and you would put your team together, analyze it. Like I said, the most important thing they're going to look at are the highest scoring factors, like, are certified financials of the company. So you can show that the company has the financial ability to do this. Number 2 is the pro forma. And the pro forma is like a 3-year pro forma to show that everything on this application, the buildings that are the like surgical suite basically that are designed with the airlocks as you walk into them, and the everything is so sterile, the equipment that you're using, just the testing and analysis equipment, like in a facility like ours, is $1.5 million just for that.
Manny, everybody thinks it's a bunch of hippies. They think it's a bunch of baby boomers or their kids who are a bunch of rich guys that are just messing around with something that's fun and funky. That's nowhere near the truth, right?
Are you, I can only speak for myself. I don't want to speak for the entire industry because I would say that the pioneers in this did this out of houses illegally. So they're very used to growing in a 3,000 square foot facility, with lights and with tinfoil over the windows, things like that. So that's where this kind of started, or it started in growing it outside in, Napa Valley area. But, what I would tell you is sound growing methods, organic growing methods. I learned how to grow organically from my grandfather. He was a third generation farmer. The scientists on our team are all, at the forefront of their industries.
One of the things we've talked about in the past, I think is very important that we haven't talked about today is organic. Who cares if it's organic and why? How much already is organic?
Okay. I mean, if you take any type of, if you're going to ingest anything, trying to ingest things that aren't going to cause cancer and heart disease and liver disease.
Well, what part of CBD and cannabis has that?
Well, okay, you can have all of it can, because it can have pesticides on it. It can have.
There you go.
It isn't the marijuana. It's not the cannabis. It isn't the CBDs or the THC, the cannabidiols, the flavonoids, the terpenes. It's not that. It's what goes into making it. Okay, you've got to use perfectly. I mean, hemp is or cannabis is a bioremediation product. So everything it's exposed to, it absorbs, and it's going to show up in the buds. It's going to show up in the sugar leaves that you use to make the oils from and the flowers from. So organic, not only organic, but good manufacturing processes, good handling processes, food safety inspections. Those things are all of critical importance. Some states don't require, any of that. Test, like the independent third-party testing, to me is a joke, because I don't know any state that's doing it effectively. And I think there's every state in the United States that I don't think Florida's had a company yet that has been arrested and put out of business for fraudulently releasing licenses or testing results. But every other state has, they'll pay a grower. A grower will send it off for testing by an independent third-party lab, and that lab wants to make money. So, it will, for a few $100s or $1,000, it'll say, oh, your batch is 26% THC. So the person can sell it for much more.
So I want
it needs to be done.
I want to take a break. I want to come back and talk about when we're going to get legal on the federal level. Regan, Mr. Mendoza, take it away. All right, everybody, we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on since 2012 doing this. Boy, I just love doing it. Mr. Mendoza's been with me for quite some time, Manny a little bit longer. And remember, the person that's been with me the longest, other than Vivian, on the show has been Warren Henry. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody at Warren Henry. Remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. Up in Gainesville, they've got their beautiful Audi store there. I really want to go get one of those Audi sports cars. They're just so beautiful. Manny, I know you had something really, really hot. You had a Ferrari, didn't you? You did. I know you did. Manny had a Ferrari back in the day. And down in the Keys, well, they sell everything down there. What do all those cars have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they come with the Warren Henry Advantage, which is a list of great things that I read every time. Complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection. That means they buff up your wheels if you scratch them. Key replacement. I've lost my keys. They're like $100. Guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee in the 72-hour exchange. They'll give you 3 days to make sure you like your car. You can return it. Everybody likes their car. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Ivy, and lots of my friends, more every day, actually. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry.
This is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
You know, she's so great. She's helping one of my clients that's doing a grocery-anchored development program, put together all of their materials. She's just so amazing. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for all you do for me and everybody else. And remember, reach out to me. Why? Because when you reach out to me, it's always all about you. Why would you do it right now? Well, the reason you do it right now is I have access to Wall Street directly. I have a family that's given me $400 million to place. We're going to do hotels. We're going to do resorts. We're going to do multifamily ground-up construction for all three. Relatively high LTCs on the base program, and we can stretch all the way up the capital stack with mezzanine and other non-traditional lenders. So call me. If you've got a deal, I've got a solution. And remember, why call me? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're here with Manny Johnson. Manny has been involved with 6 of the current 13 licenses that have been let by the state of Florida. The state of Florida is about to put out another 15 licenses, one of which has been set aside for a minority partner, which means a minority person, which means there's 14 in play. Why is that important? Because it takes about $1 million to put the process together, and about a year later, the thing is worth about $35 million. You don't even have to build anything. You just have to hold on to it and flip it. Now, what's going to happen when the state of Florida goes full recreational? Oh, I can imagine. What's going to happen when the feds do it? Oh, we're going to find out right now. Manny, when does the state go full recreational, or adult use as the professionals call it? Why do we think that's going to happen? What will that do to the value of the licenses, and what happens with the feds?
Well, I think that I know in the state of Florida, we have a very, very, progressive system. Like I said, vertical integration is amazing. And whoever thought that up in the beginning, the group that thought of that, I worked on part of that. I worked on the Compassionate Cannabis or Marijuana Act of 2014. And that was the only way we could see how to control it. And
when do we expect Florida to go adult use, and why, Manny? That's really the question. And then federal.
Well, okay, I think Florida is going to go adult use sometime next year. And I think the reason it's going to is because the people, the citizens of the state of Florida are demanding it.
And, so if before it was worth 35, what'll that do to the value of the piece of paper when Florida goes adult?
Well, it's very, very hard to say what would happen with that. I can just tell you that the sales for the sales at the medical marijuana treatment centers that are built will average a 5-fold increase in sales.
That's what I was looking for.
Based on the entire United States.
Now let's talk about that for a second, because you only got a couple minutes left. And everybody's real question after that is, when does it go federal? Because once it goes federal and I can start shipping it across state lines, I got to believe my license from Florida, where I can grow it cheaper, faster, and better than anywhere else in the country, is valuable.
It's incredibly valuable. Okay, because the state of Florida, you can grow it, you can process it here and grow it for half of the price you can anywhere else.
When do the feds say, okay, Manny, and why?
I think the feds are going to I think it's going to be federally legal within the next 3 to, I don't want to say 5 years. I'd go out to three max.
Next presidential cycle?
Pardon?
Right after the next presidential cycle?
I do believe so. One of our team members is one of 5 people who's working with the USDA to develop testing and analytical standards for cannabis, which is hemp and marijuana in the United States.
And I know who that is.
Yep. And so he was asked to do that because the problems that are going on right now, like I told you with testing, is you can take the same sample, test it in California, then test it in Oregon, test it in Colorado, test it in New York, Illinois, and Florida, and you get completely different results. That's because there's no standards. A standard is like a little test tube that you put in the machine, and that zeroes the machine out. It makes it to where you're starting at a valid point. That way you know your test results are accurate. If you don't, like the one-page piece of paper of certificate of analysis, we don't use that. We use all of the computer data that was used to create that one page. That way we can look and see if on the beginning whether the person had the machine correctly calibrated, and during the testing process, was it completely correctly calibrated.
Sounds to me like this is an amazing industry for blockchain to get involved with too. I got to believe that there's incredible technological advances that are going to make these medical marijuana companies even more valuable. And we haven't even gotten to the point or the discussion today, and I don't know if we have time for it, about the fact that this is medical quality, but it's not pharmaceutical quality yet, is it, Manny?
Well, I would like to think that when it's USDA organic and it's got the good manufacturing processes and good handling processes, that I shudder to use the word pharmaceutical, because look at the medicines that you're taking. Look at the side effects page that they give you when you get your prescription. If you read that, you take that medicine. Okay. Marijuana itself, pure organic marijuana, cannot kill anyone. It's never killed anyone. No one has died from it because it has no effect on the brainstem. Alcohol, opiates, benzodiazepines, a lot of your other medications, fast foods, a lot of that can affect your brain, okay? This doesn't affect the brainstem.
Wow. Now, Manny, that's news to me, and we've been talking a long time. That's the first time you ever rolled that one out at me. I want to kind of wrap it up with an overview. What we did was we talked about the fact that there's 13 current licenses, and you and your team have worked on 6 of the successful bidders. We talked about the fact that the piece of paper costs about $1 million to produce if you win. It's worth about $35 million today. Before Florida goes adult use, Florida's going to go adult use in the next couple of years, maybe. That's going to make the thing go up. And when it goes federal, the value will increase even more. Manny, who is the type of person that should be going after this that's going to score the highest with the state of Florida? Who has the highest likelihood of success here?
I'd say the best team that has worked together for the longest and, works together as a team and puts together the best application and has the most years. I mean, knowledge and experience. I don't want to go to I don't use anybody that doesn't have gray hair or white hair. Sorry. I mean, we can dye our hair. That's fine.
I don't dye my hair.
Well,
Come on,
okay.
man. Come on. It's just that my hair is pandemic long, and you'd see it, man. After this last 18 months, I've gone half gray. I've got a 5 head, now almost a 6 head up there instead of a 4 head.
Let's just say that I like to have someone with about 30 years of knowledge and experience in their field, because it's amazing what happens every couple of years that you learn.
Well, it seems to me then we also have to have a next gen component of this. So you and your team would be willing to bring in some younger people and mentor them as well, maybe create a knowledge base, something like that?
Well, you know, in all the states that I work with, I develop a diversity plan and minority plan. Okay, minority plan in the state of Florida, veterans are minorities. I like to bring in the idea of bringing veterans in, training them in all these different areas of this business, because it'll give them a job for the future that they can take in any state. I also like the idea of having PhD level professors in charge of every department, so that you can bring in postdoctoral students from different universities so they can learn this business. So yes, I'm big on that. I'm big on hiring women. Women are minorities. I'm big on hiring veterans. You know, that's just how it is. I wanna help our veterans. That's what I've always been in this for that.
I want to take this opportunity, because I didn't want to do it up front. I want to do it at the back end. I want to take this particular opportunity, Manny, to thank you personally and directly for your service to our country and the sacrifice that you as an individual have made. I want to tell you that my getting to know you over these years has been a spectacular journey that's just getting started. But the most important thing about our personal relationship to me is that you're pure and simple an American hero, one of America's finest, from the gridiron to the battlefield, and now to making people peaceful and well and making them whole again. I want to thank you so much as an American citizen for everything you've done for our country, Manny Johnson. God bless you, and God bless America.
Well, thank you, Jim. God bless you, and God bless America also. And I love you very, very much. And I love all people who love other people.
Well, isn't that what it's all about? And now we're going to end with that, because I don't think I can say anything else after that, Manny. Love you so much. You're such a tremendous dude. Manny epitomizes the people that we speak with and that we do business with on this show. Manny epitomizes the message, which is to love each other and to do the best by each other. I want to give a shout out to all the people that help everybody, the first responder, especially to my good friend, Tarek Maddox, who's been on the border testing the refugees. God bless you, Tarek, for the risks you take for freedom. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry, the NFL Alumni Association, Creco AI, and Carlson Integrated, Deep Blocks, Mr. Mendoza, and all of he does for us. Turkel Brands for showing me the way and being my mentor, Bruce Turkel. I want to thank most of all you, our listener and viewer. Without you, we wouldn't have a show, and I know we have a show because Manny reaches a lot of people when we put Manny up, and so does Casey and all our friends at Warren Henry. We sell lots of cars, so we know you're out there. Please go to our Facebook page, LinkedIn, everything. Just go there, like us, help us promote what we're doing, join our community and give us feedback. Reach me on all the platforms. Tell me what you think. Tell me who you want to hear from. I think next week we have Olivia on again talking about the future. Remember, if you missed today's show, Mr. Mendoza will have it up on freedombusiness.com almost immediately. It's available instantaneously on LinkedIn. This is Jim Freed for Freedom Business. Look for us next week when we talk to Olivia Ramos about the future. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. It's just great every time. She's so smart. I want to do this. I do this every week because I just love doing it. Remember, the person that, you're the epitome of this, Manny Johnson. The person that wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now go out there and make it happen. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Mr. Mendoza, it's yours.